You are listening to the Cookbook Love Podcast with Maggie Green, episode number 277.
Welcome to the Cookbook Love Podcast, a podcast that celebrates cookbook readers, buyers, collectors, writers, and clubs. And now your host, cookbook author, culinary dietitian, and cookbook writing coach, Maggie Green.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Cookbook Love Podcast, our final episode for 2023. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you're having a great week. And we are going to end the year on a positive note with some wrap-up questions to think about as we head into 2024. 2023 was a year of transition for me. I lost my mom in February. And this is the last full year that Warren and I will actually have a child living under roof. Our youngest son is in college. He graduates in May. We'll be moving to Chicago. And we will officially be empty nesters. Now, some people think you're an empty nester when your kids go off to college, which is sort of true. But if your children are anything like mine, at least that freshman year, they come home during breaks. They'll also be home during the summer for many of the years, unless they're doing an internship somewhere or they get an apartment in another city and they have to work full time. But we happen to have the situation with our youngest son where he spent most of his breaks here in our home or working in this area, with the exception of last summer. Of course, I've thoroughly enjoyed that, but next year that's going to be different. Not only for him, because he won't have breaks like that during work, but also he won't be spending as much time here at the house. And of course, with my mom, those of you who've been through it know what that's like. I spent a lot of time with my mom, a lot of energy on helping my sister who lived in Lexington and my family, other sisters, take care of her and take care of things that she needed. And when that isn't there anymore, it does open up a hole or a space in our life as well. So my family has always been one of the animating themes of my work and a source of the stories I have to tell. So I wanted to focus on thinking about what stories we tell and what is the animating theme of the work that we do, and where do our stories come from? So in 2024, do we want to keep telling the same stories, or are we going to live new stories and new possibilities? I think this is a great time of year to think about stories at family dinners, a lot of memories and recycled stories told over and over again. That's a good thing, and it actually can be very funny to rehash some old stories. But some old stories are not stories that we really particularly enjoy. It's not really a reflection of the person that we want to be. And sometimes it feels limiting and restrictive to only tell stories of the past. So I want us to think about, if we're going to keep writing and cooking or publishing books, if I'm going to keep podcasting and consulting and teaching and coaching, I want to live some new stories. New stories that come from a life that I'm living fully, immersed in new and different things. I want to be more and better, not just more of the same. Now, I don't plan to make any big changes in my life. I plan to stay in the same house, stay married to the same person, and to also practice the same faith. So those three pillars of my life will all remain the same. But there's still a ton of potential for new stories that I can explore in 2024. But what will those stories be? What is it that I'm going to start to explore? What stories am I going to tell myself now about my time and my energy and the money that I have, or the money that I'm creating in the world? Did you know there's an unlimited possibility for the types of stories we can tell, especially when it comes to cooking and writing and food and nutrition? So many fun things to think about. But how do we know where to head next? How do we know what's going to be something that is a place where we need to go in terms of the stories that we want to live and tell? So first of all, I think the secret to all of this, if you've heard me say this before, is giving ourselves permission to slow down maybe even this weekend, opening up some time on our calendar, sitting down with a pen and your notebook, your journal, and answering these 3 questions. Number 1, what am I curious about? Did you know curiosity is really a great thing to follow? What are you eager to know more about? What are you eager to learn more about? Make a list of the things that you're curious about. Those places of curiosity and things that where you feel curious are potentially new opportunities, new stories, new sources of exploration. Number 2, what do I want to explore? What do I want to explore? Is there something new that you want to explore? Maybe it's a place. Maybe it's a way of moving in the world. Maybe it's a type of exercise that you do. Maybe it is places to travel. Maybe it is different types of writing, storytelling, journaling, doing diaries, writing fiction stories. Maybe it's different kinds of cooking methods. What do you want to explore? Exploration means headed into new territory. I've been curious about exploring going on a silent retreat. For someone who does a lot of talking and a lot of sharing with people and spending time with people because of the food that I cook, this thought that I'd like to explore what it feels like to go on retreat in silence, I've kind of been interested in that. So maybe that's something that I'll explore in 2024. And then question number 3 is what matters to me? And you can say, what matters to you? At the end of the day or at the end of your life, what is it that's really important? What has significance in your life and what matters? What matters about your body? Is it your food you eat, the rest you have, the way that you move your body? What about in your soul health or your spiritual life? Times of prayer, times of community and reading, and maybe attending services or mass with people who share the same faith. What about in your relationships with your partner or your spouse and your family and your friends? What matters in all of this? And then also if you have a business, if you're writing a book, what matters when it comes to that? Keep it well-rounded and try to think about what matters to you in all these different areas of your life. And then something to think about, this is actually a 4th question, but as we're wrapping up these questions, is if you truly had unlimited time and money and energy, what would you want to do in 2024? What would you want to do in 2024? Something that I've realized is I've been paying attention to the things that I do every single day. And then I pay attention to the things that I do every single week. Because some things I only do once a week or a couple of times a week. Take doing the laundry, for example. I don't do that every day. But the things I do every week, plus the things I do every day, really drive the kind of person that I want to be. And not only that, they're driving the kind of person that I am. So if I truly want to make any changes in any of the areas of bodily health, spiritual health, relationship health, or business health, I need to, of course, look at the things I'm doing on a weekly and daily basis and see if it's in alignment with what I say I want when it comes to my body, my spiritual health, my relationships, and my business. So those are the questions that I have. They are, what am I curious about? What do I want to explore? And what matters to me? And then the 4th bonus question, if I had unlimited time, money, and energy, what would I want to do in 2024? So in answering these questions, I know I'm going to learn more about where I'm headed in 2024, especially since 2023 for me was such a year of change. So that is it for this short, sweet final episode of 2023. I send my best New Year's greetings to all of you, and I hope that you're all doing well. I'm looking forward to 2024 and all the things we get to explore together about cookbook love. So this is your host, Maggie Green, and until next time, I hope you all have a great day, Happy New Year, and keep loving your cookbooks.
Thanks for listening to the Cookbook Love Podcast. You can find out more information at www.cookbooklove.co.